Shopify just released their quarterly earnings, and they're making ridiculous amounts of money by following one simple business principle that so many companies get wrong. Pull yourself up a chair and let's talk about it. In Shopify's recent quarterly earnings report, they reported over $320 million in revenue for the first 3 months of 2019, with expectations of that continuing to grow throughout the year. That's a 50% increase from the first quarter of 2018. Now, I don't know what your measuring stick looks like, but 50% is a lot to me, and there's just no sign of that slowing down. One number that really stood out to me was that their subscription revenue was only $140 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. $140 million is a lot of money, so I'm not saying only to diminish that number. As much as it may frustrate me, an agency owner that's used to dealing with open source software, it just shows how genius they were by making their payment solution the focus of their platform. Merchant Solutions revenue was nearly 58% of their income, checking in at $180 million. As much hell as I give them for going after the completely uninitiated beginners with their marketing campaigns, I also want to give credit where credit is due. They've built this e-commerce platform by focusing on age-old business advice that seems very simple on the surface, but in reality, it's very complicated to do well. And that is to focus on the customer and make it very easy for them to say yes. Sure, it can be a fairly simple platform, and us crazy web developers that want to do all sorts of weird things with it can sometimes get frustrated by its limitations. However, everyone that runs a business, especially a product company, needs to take notes. Focus on making onboarding to your platform as simple as possible and make your pricing as cost-effective as you can possibly make it, and that's a recipe for growth. Shopify started with a simple e-commerce platform, and they made their payment services core to that platform that allows them to generate additional revenue and keep their fees low. Over time, they've expanded into a slightly more robust version in Shopify Plus and added other services that merchants need, like Shopify Shipping and Shopify Capital. They really seem to understand the up-and-coming merchants because that's their market. And those merchants don't want technical complexity. A lot of those merchants just start simple online and then they grow into a more sophisticated merchant. That's why Shopify continues to roll out new products and services like their recently announced retail hardware collection. And it's aimed at making retail point of sale simple and seamlessly integrated into their online experience. Now, I haven't seen the hardware in person, so I don't know if it delivers on that promise, but the idea is solid. Build systems that make what used to be complex integration simple for merchants that don't need or desire that complexity. Now, we can have all sorts of debate about whether it's better for the core platform to provide those services or to lean on partners to add that functionality, but that's a topic for another day. Either way you go, if you make it incredibly simple and affordable for your customers, they're much more likely to adopt it. And that's Shopify's strength. They have rules and limitations that can frustrate those that want to go beyond them. However, within those rules is a level of simplicity from the merchant perspective that's missing on a lot of these other platforms. If you've been watching these videos, then you know that I believe e-commerce is about to get a lot more complicated over the next few years, from selling on multiple social channels to progressive web apps. Many small to mid-sized merchants are just not ready for that complexity, and tools that simplify the process are going to be essential. As always, I'll leave it to you. What are your thoughts on the Shopify platform and its growth? Are the limitations it has just too much, or is the simplicity worth it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments of this video. Do not let my opinion be the only one that's heard. If you like these videos, consider giving me a follow or hitting that subscribe button depending on the platform you're on. Liking and sharing these is always helpful and much appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.